Welcome to my office. This is the 2020 updated office room tour. My last one, I didn't really explain a lot of things, but so let's start as you walk in the door. I have my badges from all my Comic-Cons and WonderCons and Kamikazes and celebrations, pretty much from 2003 till now. This is my Iron Man newspaper and photos and schematics, which coincides with my Iron Man shelf, which then goes to my magazines, helmet, interior helmet, this goes down to my Goonie shelf, my National Treasure 1 shelf, my National Treasure 2 shelf, my scratch-built Thunder Road model from the Explorers, and both of those are built by me. The tiny one and a full-scale studio scale model. We'll walk over this way. That's the Black Series Luke helmet. It's a custom Han blaster, and then Han and carbonite, which you probably already saw. I built this several years ago. I still have to put on the panels on the side. I do love Back to the Future. Back to the Future 2 is probably my favorite. So my friend Matt gave me this VHS standee. And my Stormtrooper armor. I've worn it once, it's very pinchy. My motorcycle helmet. And that's my Oculus Quest VR. Sorry, I'm gonna move this, but I have several pairs of the replica mags. I owned the original mags. Nike mags back in 2011, sold them when these came out, and yeah, these ones are the self-lacing versions. So I'm going to be doing a review on these shortly, but in there I have a pair of the non-self-lacing versions, as well as in there, as well as up there. So I have 3 pairs of the non-self-lacing versions. Sorry for the loud noise. Gotta move this around. Tron disc, Tron poster, Die Hard, my Die Hard case, this wallet, Indiana Jones. Obviously there are 2 versions of the headpiece. There is the what's considered the Imam headpiece, and then the Raven Bar headpiece. That was the headpiece that was in the Raven Bar, as it caught fire, and then they didn't like that sculpt, so they had a new sculpt done. This Karen Allen signature. My Rocky shelf, signed by Sylvester Stallone. I actually got those signed in person. This is another signed pair right there. Romancing the Stone case. Now this is my home arcade machine. It's pretty tall and has 412 games on it, and you can scroll through and play pretty much any game you want. Down here is my Ready Player One shelf with the VR goggles. This is a random 80s shelf. That's from, crap. I'm even forgetting myself, but I'll come back to that. My motorcycle helmet. That's just a speaker down there. That's from, oh man, Cloak and Dagger is what it is. Cloak and Dagger. It's the Cloak and Dagger tape with the Jack Flack. Sorry, I just had a brain fart. Back to the Future. So, screen accurate hoverboard, not the Mattel. This is a screen accurate with lenticular. It's a pretty rare piece. That's actually probably more rare than these shoes. Pepsi Perfect, Griff Bat. This is the Back to the Future 1 cabinet, which down here you have my Marty McFly Madrid skateboard. Back to the Future 2, which I have Pepsi Perfects, Diet Pepsi, Slice, the Easy Sleep, Biff's Cane, Future Marty's Watch, Gray Sports Almanac, Ooh La La, signed Pizza Hut wrapper by Jeffrey Wiseman, who played George McFly in Part 2, the JVC headset. Back there is a Hill Valley Police feature badge. Down here is Ghostbusters. Pretty much have the Ghost Trap, the goggles, the infrared goggles, the PKE meter, Bankman's patch, a walkie-talkie. Way down here, oh my gosh, is Luke's Return of the Jedi saber and Obi-Wan's saber, made by Icons. Got that so many years ago. Up here is, oops, sorry, is Marty's jacket and hat. This is made by a guy in Singapore. It's named by Mark Poon. Highly recommend it. It's about $700. It's not too bad. And the start of my vintage carded Star Wars collection. I have about, I think now about 100 carded Star Wars figures. I really go for the mint bubble, mint card. So yeah, Tales from Space. This is my Boba Fett helmet signed by Daniel Logan, who played Boba Fett in Episode 2, and Jeremy Bulloch, who played Boba Fett in Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Various vintage toys, Inspector Gadget, various Star Wars toys. These are my Jurassic Park collection. That's a screen-used Mr. DNA cell from obviously the original Jurassic Park. My Barbasol can, the cane, those are all Rilo props. The night vision goggles, plate. That's an E.T. mini poster signed by cast members D. Wallace, what's the heck's his name? Elliot, who played Henry Thomas, I think. And the guy who played his brother, Michael, I forget his name, say Robert. I don't know. This is my desk where actually I work. So I'm in real estate, so I work from home. But this lamp, if you don't know, but it was not this particular lamp, but this version of the lamp was used in Tron. So it sits on Flynn's desk at the beginning of Tron. I'm gonna bypass this real quick. Come over here, again, this is my Knight Rider car. This is, again, continuation of the carded figures, which I have another 100 or so in storage. I do like custom figures, so my friend Gary Weaver, Toy Weaver, made that card and figure. Pretty amazing. The Boba Fett's a custom as well. I thought it was pretty darn cool because I'm never gonna pay $5 or 10 grand for a figure. My Indiana Jones portion of my Indiana Jones collection, because I actually have everything except for the truck. I have everything carded, I have everything loose. I just don't have everything. I don't have the truck, which I will be getting. I even have this guy carded and loose, so that's his box, but I also have it completely boxed. So I buy extras of everything. So I have 2 Marions, several Indies, several of these, and those are down here, along with my Tron figures. Those are the NECA reproductions, not the originals. The originals still aren't that much more expensive. So this shelf is like as if my childhood threw up, and this is what I had as a kid. I had the Michael Jackson glove, but I also had the Bruce Jenner shoes, and I had that gun, that Ray line tracer gun. I had the Spider-Man utility belt, the fun stuff, bionic arm, the Captain America shield shooter, all these Matchbox and Corgi and Real Riders, the Hulk flying fist, the Edison Giuseppe cap gun, had it all. This is everything from my childhood. Excuse me. And this is the beginning of my loose collection of Star Wars. Still have probably maybe 15 or 20 figures left to go. And then my 12-inch. And again, I love customs, so these are all the Toy Weaver customs. The first shots, and then I actually made a custom of myself right there. And one of my favorite toys as a kid was the Death Star playset. And I had to add in the new Grand Moff Tarkin figure here. And going around back, the Empire glasses, the original Empire patch. There. And then over here are my custom figures from the Amazon Prime Video TV show, The Boys. I made these all myself. They're all exact to the screen used figures. Great show. That's a I guess it's 1/6 scale. It's not 1/4 scale. It's like 1/6 scale. Indiana Jones. He normally has a jacket, but it like totally deteriorated and just ate away. But like this is magnetized to him. And he's one of my favorite characters of all time. I actually named my son Harrison because my wife would not let me name him Indy. And thankfully. This is the Hot Toys DeLorean time machine. It's humongous. It's about 3 feet long. Whoops. Don't do that with yours. It's pretty fantastic. It's got lights. It's pretty amazing. And these are just the master replicas. Stormtrooper blaster, Rebel blaster, and Luke's Empire Strikes Back blaster and saber. Han's Empire Strikes Back blaster. The Jedi training droid, I guess, or remote. Leia's blaster, signed by Carrie Fisher. Sorry. So these are signed by, this one's signed by Dave Prowse and George Lucas. This one's signed by Mark Hamill and George Lucas. I met George Lucas at the Directors Guild when he did a Q&A about 12 years ago, and got those signed by him. And this is my knockoff master replicas Medal of Yavin. I think that brings us back to where we're at. Again, various toys. The Batman Remco belts, they're pretty rare. Battlestar Galactica. I have all these figures on card, as well as up here. Why do I have a Donald Duck hat? Because that was the hat that I had when I went to Disneyland when I was a kid. So there you go. And then my Flynn sign, I made that out of paper, letters from Michaels, PVC, LED strip. It's cool because it looks like the one from the film, but I think I built it for about 20 bucks. So there you go. Hope you like the tour. If there's anything specific that you want to know about, let me know. Yeah, oh, Conan's. Oh, I didn't talk about the Ghost Pack. So yeah, so I have my Ghostbusters Proton Pack. That was a gift given to me by a friend. I won't name him unless he wants to be named, but he gave me that whole kit along with the jumpsuit and a few other props on there. But yeah, it was pretty awesome. But that was actually harder to make than Han. So believe it or not, this little guy was pretty tough to make. And then my Conan sword. So this is just like a cheap version that you get off eBay, and all I did was weather it. So, yeah. But please let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions, and yeah, I'll see you in the future.